Moving on to the Eastern Cape province, officials from the Eastern Cape Co-operative Governance Department are in Nelson Mandela Bay assessing the flood-hit areas. More than 1,000 people have been evacuated from their homes over the weekend when torrential rain fell over large parts of the metro. Some areas measured more than 100 millimetres of rain over 3 days. The flood victims have been accommodated in various halls, churches and schools alike. SABC News' Mcebisi Ngqina has more.
To you live from the Dago Hall in Gazakhele, where the flood victims have been accommodated that were affected by the floods that hit Nelson Mandela Bay over the weekend. The MEC for COGTA in the province, Zolile Williams, together with his counterpart from the Department of Social Development, are visiting those areas that have been affected by these floods to assess the damage that has been caused by the floods. Over 1,000 people were evacuated in areas such as Gazakhele, Woma, including New Brighton and Motherwell, due to these floods. But I do have the MEC for COGTA next to me, Zolile Williams, just to talk about the purpose of this visit here in Nelson Mandela Bay so far. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Just the purpose of your visit, and also what have you seen in the areas that you have visited?
Yes, our visit here was to assess the magnitude of the disaster that has happened in the last weekend. I had a meeting with the JOC in the municipality this morning to get a report as to what actions have they taken in responding to the challenges that our people are facing. First to note is that these disasters have mainly affected people from informal settlements. And the challenge with that is some of the informal settlements are unplanned, resulting in a situation where it's difficult to get into those areas and quickly intervene in terms of our earth-moving equipment and make sure that the water that has dammed and affected those areas is actually channeled away from the houses. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that drainage systems, stormwater drainage systems, have been blocked for a long time, and the municipality has been instructed to quickly attend to drainage system so that water can be channeled properly and not affect communities. The other problem relates to the theft that is happening whilst people have been taken away from their residential areas into community halls. Now, our communities find it difficult to reside in areas where they are located temporarily because thieves are busy stealing their valuables at home. But now the situation is such that you can't allow people to go back because there's dams of water around those areas. Now we said to the metro, quickly they must see if some of the shacks have to be demolished in order to be able to drive that water away from those houses. Let it be so that the people's conditions can be assuaged and then they can return to their homes, because it is not our view that they must be allocated in community halls. They would like to be in their homes, so we want that to happen.
And also, what kind of assistance are you going to be providing, and also the solutions that you have to these problems that you have identified, such as the drainage system and also unplanned informal settlements?
Yes, there's a plan already in the pipeline where those communities will be located in proper residential areas, and the municipality is in advanced stages of implementing that particular plan. But we want a short-term measure because rains are predicted to be coming. So we want a short-term measure where we want stormwater channeling, we want streets to be made to be drivable and walkable, because in some situations in Woma Township you'll find out township has been constructed, houses have been constructed, but the street has not been constructed. Now that street creates a problem of damming water and flooding nearby houses. So we're saying in those areas, just grade the street, make stormwater channels so that water can be driven away. So those are short-term mechanisms to try and respond to the situation. But all of us, MEC for Social Development is here. We're trying to make the people's situation better by providing bedding, food, and so on, so that people at least can be in an environment where they can do and continue with their lives.
So thank you so much for your time. That was the MEC for COGTA in the province, Solile Williams, just talking about what he has actually seen during his visit here in Nelson Mandela Bay to those areas that were affected by floods. He talked about unplanned informal settlement and also the problem that the municipality has also been talking about, the drainage system.